Dun, dun, dun,
Bum,
dun,
ba-da-bum,
dun.
bum, ba-da-bum, bum,
Ba-da-dun-dun. Tilted balls.
ba-da-bum.
Ba-ba-ba.
Balls, yeah. Oh, that
Woo-hoo.
was a good one. That's really
Thanks.
good.
Welcome back, people, to Kilted Balls. Hopefully, you've been having a great week. Things are going good here. We had a little bit delay between showings, mainly because I had a crazy huge trail race on Saturday. So it's called Dances with Dirt. It's run through Hell, Michigan, which is actually a place. It's kind of near where I grew up. I grew up just outside of Hell. And yeah, it's you have to sign a waiver for the race that says we understand that participation can cause death. So it's mildly extreme.
I'm glad you didn't die.
I did not. I did think I was going to die at one point. I think I was a few miles in on one of my legs. It's a relay, so it's a 100-kilometer relay with 5 of us. And on
Oh,
one of
wow.
my legs, it was 6 miles, and I was coming down a rocky hill. So, God, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe a 30-yard hill, 40 yards
hmm
down, pretty
Yeah.
steep. And I twisted my ankle on a rock, like I hit it and it went snap right over.
hmm
And rather than falling, which I think is what is supposed to happen, I took off at a dead sprint down the hill.
That's smart. Well, I thought all of your ligaments were gone, so you
They
didn't
were
sprint.
no,
Okay,
yeah.
because
So I
I
continued
I
running
don't
and I
sprain my
finished.
ankle at all. I have no ligaments down there.
Yeah, no, it didn't sprain. It snapped for sure. And then I sprinted like a million miles an hour, hit that bottom, and it probably took me another 20 meters before I got myself under control. That's how
There you go.
fast I was going down that hill. But I
Well, you
didn't
do have an
fall.
amazing stride out, so I'm sure that's what you were doing.
Oh my gosh, I'm like, I'm gonna die here. Like the whole way down, I was like, my legs were trying to move. You know how like your legs move faster than your body? That's what they were doing, except my body was falling. So they were keeping up and keeping me on my feet. And then I like bounced out. And that's not even the funny part. So like the whole way I'm like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And then
Mhm.
I didn't want to stop running because I was afraid I like messed up my ankle. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and I'm sitting here going, there's probably not a lot of ligaments to hurt there. So I'm just gonna keep running and see if it's good. And it was pretty good. And I could hear somebody right before this happened, like coming up behind me.
hmm
And about a minute later, 2 minutes later, he catches up to me. And we had just passed another lady. So I'd seen
hmm
her ahead of me, passed her. This guy comes to pass me. And I'm like, did you see that? And he's like, what? I'm like, I totally almost bit it down the hill. And he's like, really? No, I didn't see it. I'm so glad you're safe. And I'm like, yeah, I was like sprinting down the hill. It's the craziest things that's happened to me yet. And he's like, oh my gosh, that is crazy. And he's like, getting further away. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like half talking while I'm running and I trip and fall. And
That's awesome.
I'm like, I gotta shut up and just keep running. Like I caught myself like on my hands, like I didn't fall, but I fell on both hands on the ground while I was running and like skidded and stood back up. But I
Oh,
was
that's
like, I'm
awesome.
like, I gotta shut up because if I fall down, I might be done.
That's great.
So yeah, that was my exciting weekend, people. So in a race where you can get hurt, and speaking of that leg, you remember this, Jared, our listeners don't, but that was the leg where I had to carry a guy for a mile when he did break his ankle. So do you remember that? So
Yes,
this
I
is
remember
that was the
vaguely that
same
story.
leg
Okay.
where the guy broke his ankle and I had to carry him. And
Because
so
I was gonna say you should be used to this. You've raced that race a few times, and I imagine it's the same track, isn't it? Or path?
it changes a little bit here and there, but a lot of the
hmm
legs I've done before. So I think 2 or 3 of those legs I've done before. This one, like that middle leg where I almost fell,
hmm
that leg has kicked the crap out of me every time. And this time I dominated it. And I was like
Nice.
so happy and so proud of myself because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is at least in my memory, it's the first time I've ever like killed that leg.
Yeah.
And it has huge hills on it, hills that I normally have to walk up. And
hmm
yeah, I was like totally geeked out that I just like monstered that leg. So it
That is
was,
awesome.
and then on the next leg, I was totally dead and could barely run. So,
That's awesome.
it's a trade off.
hmm Well, those of you who are not watching, you probably noticed. If you are watching, I do have new glasses.
Woo,
So
you look so
apparently-
smart.
Thank you. I feel smart. I think it's a thing. I tried not to believe. I've heard it's a thing with age that your eyes can go, but I tried to ignore it and not believe it. But yep, these are my new glasses.
Well, they look cute. It does look like you're squinting all the time. I don't know if you used to squint or if the glasses just make you look like you squint. I didn't notice. I'm gonna have to go back
Maybe you
and
can
watch some
see,
old
maybe you can
episodes.
see my eyes better. Yeah, I think I'm normally a
Did
squinter.
you like this? Like while you're
That's what
talking.
happens when I smile. I can still see actually.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Speaking of that, I have a daughter, and one of the funny jokes going on is we were sitting there laughing one day, and she's just laughing, and I'm like looking at her, I'm like, we are so genetically related. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I had a picture of her grandfather sitting there smiling, and same exact eyes, same exact squint. And I was like, there
No,
you go.
I thought that you thought she was mine because we had her and I have the same eyes.
No,
Until
no,
you
no,
saw
no,
your
no.
dad's picture.
No, 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 no.
No, that's what you told me. Remember, one time I was over, we were all looking at you like, "What are you talking about?" Especially your wife; she was confused.
Yeah, nope, she's mine. That's why she's a wrestler for sure. You don't
That
have a
is
mean
true.
bone in your body.
I do not. But funny thing, I just realized today, and
Yeah.
we talked about this real quick, but I didn't fill you in because I wanted this to be fun news.
Yes,
So,
I'm excited.
do you remember the invisible craniums?
Yes.
And you wrote them and asked if it was, I forget how you worded it, but you worded it. But for some reason today it popped into my head, like, I haven't seen my invisible cranium in a while.
I have not either.
My invisible cranium is not in my wallet. And I looked at the one that I thought that I owned, and my name isn't on it. So I'm pretty sure I know how the blockchain works. I haven't had a chance to go back and look at it. Because didn't I have I had a laser eyes, and didn't I have like a Viking helmet and like a little like army type shirt?
How
Like I
how
could
could
have
it have?
swore that's what mine looked like.
I
have no
remember you
idea.
having an invisible cranium. Am I? I'm not making that up in my head, am I?
I have no invisible craniums anymore.
You say that, and I kind of keep track of our wallets. So I've looked at your wallet recently, and as soon as you said invisible cranium, I was like, I haven't seen his. Oh, I'm like, this must be a selling story.
No,
but it's not. You don't have an invisible.
I did go through and hide a bunch of stuff. So I even checked my hidden part, and it's like, I don't know why I would have clicked it. I wouldn't have hidden it because I paid for it. I went through and I hid stuff that I didn't pay for. But yeah, it's not there anymore. It's not in my wallet at all. So I have no idea how that happened. So I might have to do some research.
But you did have one, right?
We talked about it. I think, and actually, I think you were looking at it on an episode. I might have to go back and watch the YouTubes and see where you're actually talking about it and see if my memory is correct.
Had to be an earlier episode, right?
Yeah, it was. Because we were talking, I can't remember if you were talking about spin-offs or satire or something, because you asked the people on Twitter, like if it was a satire or if it was something for the craniums, ape craniums, or whatever it's called.
No, I don't remember that.
You did?
No, I'm not saying I didn't. I'm just saying I don't remember that.
Yeah, I can't remember if you wrote them directly or if you just tagged them, like saying, oh, in our recent episode we were talking about it. I can't remember how it went, but it was amusing. It was definitely, I was like, what in the heck is going on? I mean, I think it was 0.05 that I paid for it, but I thought it was fun. I was like,
but they still exist, right? Like invisible craniums are still there.
Yeah, it says that there's 100 of them and there's 9 owners, but I am not one of those owners.
9?
Yeah, 9 owners. And I'm not in the sales. Like if you look at volume traded, my name isn't there at all.
So here are my suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I would say
I mean, I can definitely go to Etherscan and look through my wallet and it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say, first is you can check your contract history on MetaMask.
Mhm.
So you can see when you bought, you can check the Ethereum to
Mhm.
see what you bought. But this
Yeah.
brings up another thing that I kind of realized lately and mildly surprised me. So if it surprised me, my guess is it's going to surprise you.
Okay.
And maybe you already knew this, like, but for me, I was like, okay, I didn't know that. It makes complete sense, but I didn't know it.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah. So all of the stuff you've bought
Hmm.
is not actually in the blockchain.
Really?
So when you buy something like, say, and I kind of figured this out because I can't believe we didn't talk about this. Remember how I had card 31 and we did an episode and I was like, look at this card 31 and blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah, then it went away.
The next day it was gone. We didn't talk about that on the episode.
Hmm. Oh,
The
we
next-
didn't. Okay.
No. So card 31, for those of you who've been following along, disappeared. It was gone out of my wallet. I didn't hide it. Literally disappeared out of my wallet. And so I was like, that's really weird. How could somebody take something out of my wallet? Like they can't, right? Like that's the whole point.
Hmm.
You can't take something out of your wallet. Here's why. When you have something, it's not actually in the blockchain. They say it's in the blockchain. It's not in the blockchain. So when you buy something, say like Intuitive Iguana
Hmm.
from VFriends, what's on the blockchain, and I imagine there's lots of ways to do this. So maybe this is an oversimplification of one way, right?
Mhm.
But I think it's the normal way. In the contract, what goes on the blockchain is saying that go to this server and pull up this image.
Okay.
So it's literally sending OpenSea or you or whoever else to a specific web server and pulling that image from the server and showing it.
So if the server goes away, then the NFT would go away.
Then the NFT would go away. So if
Or
the server
if
went
they-
away, the image
If
would go
they
away.
took my picture off of their server and then sold it to somebody else, because it says someone else bought it a month ago, but I could have swore I had mine longer than a month, but I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
Because the one that I thought that I owned, it says it was sold a month ago, but this person bought 3 different ones a month ago, August 30th.
And he's one of the 9 owners.
Well, yeah, there's not even that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 owners, but that person has 3. It says 9 owners. Yeah, it's all messed up.
It's messed up. But yeah, so a little bit of something that I
That's
didn't know.
interesting. No, I didn't even think about that. That's
Yeah.
super wild.
Because an image, and I thought this before. So I thought it before, but I never like had a reason to go do research on it. But the way my thinking went was, first off, an image is a ton of data to put on a blockchain. And 2, there's no way the computers could verify it that fast on the blockchain, as fast as we get them.
Yeah.
Right? There's no way, because it would have to rewrite that thing. And so the reason why is what they put on the blockchain to make gas cheaper is just a really, really tiny bit of code that says, grab this image from this place.
Okay.
And so when you buy it, that transfers to you to get it from that place, and the other person isn't allowed to get it from that place.
Okay. Oh, that's wild. And then the blockchain has all your transactions on it, but it's just saying where they are and everything.
And so it's saying you own that piece of data, and that data is pointing at this picture on whatever server it is.
Yeah.
Which means if
wild.
that server crashes,
Hmm.
your images would be gone.
Well, my invisible cranium is definitely gone.
Yeah. Well, because I was wondering if, and I don't know this, but maybe that card 31, it was after the auction. And so they said, okay, we're shutting down the server. Like, why pay for it anymore?
Yeah,
Right.
it's definitely a rug pull. Well, another thing that's interesting is that I have 12 hidden, and if I click on that hidden one, like some of the more sketchy ones are gone. Like,
Right.
I don't know if you've looked at your wallet recently, but like the one comic that we had talked about a couple episodes ago, I don't have
Yes.
that. That's not in my folder anymore.
Okay. That was in mine the other day. Because when card 31 went, I was like, oh, did the comic go too?
Yeah.
The comic is gone.
Yeah. And I don't know what else is gone, but yeah, I just noticed that I can only see 9 and it said I had 12 hidden.
Yeah, my comic is gone too.
Mhm.
Wow.
So it's wild.
Well,
So,
now you know how. So they don't have to take stuff out of your wallet. They just have to shut down the server. And so I imagine if somebody was doing something illegal, like the Curio cards,
mhm,
Curio could send them a cease and desist and say, turn off your server.
yeah.
And then once they turn off the server, all of those things go away.
Mhm.
It also means, though, like, so this is scary to me. Like,
Mhm.
is your stuff ever actually safe?
I guess not. I mean, strictly speaking.
Right? Like, you've got the contracts, you can prove you own it, which is the big
Mhm.
part of why all of this is good.
Yeah.
But if you don't download your images, if that server goes, if the VFriend server disappears,
Mhm.
then you don't have that image anymore.
Yeah. Actually, I want to share a win that I realized that we had. You and I were talking. Well, I brought it up earlier, and I brought it
Yeah.
up on the Marco Polo. But friends out there, so we like to think that we're on the ball and we know what's going on. We've made a lot of right decisions, all of us. But Brian and I, and we had talked about this in previous episodes when we were minting our Manikeys.
Yes.
We were up north. We were up in Traverse City. It was around 4th of July, and we were doing all that. And interesting enough, there was another cat type. The cool cats were being minted around that same time, 0.02 for the cool cats. So I mean, the Manikeys haven't gone the way we had hoped, and we did get an extra drop, and we never know what's gonna happen with all that.
That's
Still
true.
possible in the future, but right now the cool cat floor. Well, actually, I don't know this second, but about an hour and a half ago, the cool cat floor was 11.
What's Cool Cats NFT? Is that the name?
Yeah.
So when he says a win, he's talking about the opposite, people. We did not buy Cool Cats, and they are now for sale for 11. He says it says
I bought.
10.4.
Okay, I bought 20 Manikeys, so 10.4 times 20 would have been pretty sweet.
That'd have been sweet. You chose the wrong cat, my friend.
Chose the wrong cat.
Why are
But
they so much?
people like them. That's all
Why?
it is. They were even just a couple weeks ago. They were. I want to say they were like 4 people were talking about they were going up. So
Yeah.
I didn't have the 4 to
So I
spend.
wonder what's going on in their world that's
Yeah.
making them so good. So like I'm looking at one right now, the floor. The guy bought it for 5.1 and he's selling it for 10.4.
Well, a week
He bought it
ago?
a month ago.
Oh, a month ago. Okay. So
Yeah.
maybe it's
It
a little
was
longer than
minted
that.
3 months ago, July 1st, 2021. So they must have minted right around when
Right around
we
that
did
same time.
ours.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because there was someone who I follow on Twitter, and he had made a comment like, "Oh, I'm not a noob. I'm so smart." He minted. I think he said he minted 7 cool cats and sold I think 5 of them for like 1 point something ETH, and he was all excited. He's like, "I still have 2." And he retweeted today like, oh, "Guess I am still a noob." Or I was still a noob. So
Yep.
I was
That
like,
is
"Well, at least you
crazy.
picked the right cat. You still have 2."
You still
But
got
I
2.
just thought that was funny. Do you want to talk about the grills today, or do you have something
Yeah,
else
we
you
can
want to
talk about the
cover?
grills. No, grills are great.
I mean, it was another of the Gary V PFPs, which they're passing out 555 of them. And an interesting thing, and our friend Jason brought it up, and talking about, because it was delayed again, and that's seems to have been happening. We talked about that with the Dapper Dinos, like people trying to take them over, people setting up fake websites and things like that. And so delays happened. And this one got bumped to tomorrow, but I was trying to mint it earlier. I was looking at it and the website wasn't changing. It wasn't going to a spot where I could mint it now. So I was just like, whatever, we had an early dinner. But then I found out it was later. So it's kind of wild. Like some of those big projects are ones that are in the new, or not in the news, but I guess in the circles that we follow, are
Yeah.
the ones that people are setting up and hacking. So it's kind of crazy. But what do you think? What do you think what Jason was talking about?
So yeah, so what Jason was talking about is he wonders how many of these people who are delaying because of an attack or for some reason the code goes wrong or whatever is a tactic to increase people's interest to buying, right?
A
So,
little bit more FOMO.
you get everybody jazzed up about it, get everybody jazzed up, and then you say, oops, we have so many people who are trying to cheat us. We're going to pause for a day.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I'm torn on that. Like on one hand, I definitely see his point. I see the conspiracy. I see how it could work. On the other hand, like for dinos, I refused to mint dinos
Hmm.
because of their delays. I was like, nope, it's too scary. I'm not going to do it until they're verified. Right.
Yeah.
And I waited to do it till they were verified. And, I still don't know if I made the right decision on that, but I was like, yeah, nope.
Hmm.
So, it gave me FUD where he's thinking it gives people FOMO, and I don't know. I think the Gary V one that he referenced. So Gary V was like, I have a huge announcement, huge announcement, huge announcement. And then he was like, sorry, it's going to be delayed a day, and then I'll give you the huge announcement.
And the
I don't think
floor
that
went
had to
crazy.
do, yeah. And I don't think that had to do with Gary V. I think that had to do with CNN.
Yeah, I
Right.
agree with that.
So a lot of news places, like, they're filling 30-second windows or 5-minute windows. And if another bigger news story comes up, then things get bumped. And I
Yeah.
think that's why the first day he didn't say it was CNN. He was just like, I've got a big announcement. And even you can see the second day, it was big announcement, big announcement, big announcement. Okay, everybody, here's a link to CNN. Go there
Hmm.
for the announcement. Like,
Yeah.
I think he
And CNN
purposely,
International.
right. Well, and then it's a big thing because he can go to other people and say, look at the viewership I brought in at this time. Like your viewership shot through the roof. Look how many people logged into CNN during this time.
Yeah.
Right. And that gives him more credential with the news
Hmm.
services
Yeah, a
to
lot more
feature
credibility.
him. And it gives more credit to VFriends as a franchise. If he
Hmm.
can say, look what we did just with CNN. Imagine
Yeah.
what's going to happen, whenever.
Yeah. No, it's super interesting, and it almost goes back to what had happened. The same thing had happened with the Stoner Cats, and you wonder what would have happened if the Stoner Cats would have gone live the first day, as opposed to being pushed back 24 hours. The ton more people coming into it, and then it's selling out so fast, and the crazy gas too.
Yeah, because a ton did come into it.
Hmm.
Yeah. What was the reason they delayed? Do you remember?
Something wasn't right. I don't know if the smart contract wasn't right or whatever. They just said that they weren't able to do it till the next day. I
Yeah.
think they started it. That whole look at this works.
Yeah. Here's the part that I don't understand. Like if I were going to do a drop, right? Before I released it to anybody, probably before even I had a release date, I would be like, hey, I need you 10 people to go mint this for free.
Yeah.
Right? Like I would set the price for free and say, go mint these for me. And, you get to have one for free. Like you get to be a pre-release,
Yeah.
which, people would do. And you would know if it worked, right? Like if there's any issues, you go, okay, there's there's issues, I'm gonna go take care of this. Whereas a lot of these, it's like, okay, we're gonna release, we're gonna release, we're gonna release. Holy cow, there's a problem. Really?
Some does see, I can see both sides of it. I can see like that's just a little too suspicious, but maybe
So
something does come up.
what I have found out, and this leads to other stuff we've talked about way in the past, you can mint all of your stuff before it's minted. You can do trial runs and mint them all. So you can know if the program's running. You can
Yep.
put them all on a server beforehand, right? You just got to be careful to delete them all before somebody starts doing them, right?
hmm
Like you can do all of that kind of stuff. That's why it's confusing when it happens this way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But maybe like your server goes down. That's the thing that I'm wondering, like, you got to be really sure of your server, right? That you're buying time on, because
Yeah.
that server's all of a sudden going to have all of your stuff.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
I imagine you make like copy after copy after copy of your server.
Just to make sure.
Right. But my question is let's say somebody does destroy your server, right? Let's say the people who own your server go out of business. Does that mean you have to go through and change the smart contracts for all 10,000 of those by hand?
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Like that would suck as the owner to have to go back through and redo it all.
Although if you
Do you
actually
know
sell
your
all 10,000 of them.
Do you know your server can actually be on Google Drive? Like that can be your server?
Mm-hmm.
Like
For
that's
sure.
crazy to me. Crazy.
Mhm.
Of course, you can be confident that Google's not going to disappear. So
Yeah, exactly.
that's probably a good
Can
thing.
be pretty
too.
safe with
That's
that.
probably a good reason to use something like that. I don't know. It's all cray to me. All
But
cray
yeah,
to me.
it's been sorry, it's been a just a pretty wild weekend. Prices are starting to bounce back up for crypto, and the fourth quarter, a lot of people are super excited about it. So it's going to be a really interesting ride here the next couple months.
I've been saying for a long time that October, November are the months. I said that as soon as the ETH started going up, you would see all of your NFTs going up. And
Yeah.
like I noticed my One Force is already starting to shoot up. I noticed World of Women are starting to shoot up.
Yep.
Fame Ladies are lagging, but I bet they'll take off. VeeFriends
Yep.
have started to shoot back up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So a
Oh.
lot of the ones we follow are starting to bounce.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you got on the Discord last night, but when I was on there and Gary was on there talking, and he was talking a lot about version 2 because people were asking questions.
Oh, okay.
And so he was saying Q1 2022, and it sounds like the floor is going to be about $1,000. So he was telling people, if you can't buy a V, he was saying, if you can buy a VeeFriend now, buy a VeeFriend now. Like, don't even think twice about it. But if you can't, start saving some money so you have it. He doesn't think the same returns are going to be there as with the first version, which how could it? It makes sense, but it will still be life-changing for people. So any of our listeners who do get into VeeFriends, or if you're priced out of VeeFriends, it is start saving some money, because I don't think that'd be a bad investment. Not investment advice, but I would tell anyone to do that.
Yeah.
If they were my friend.
My question about VeeFriends in version 2 is, is it still, did he answer this? Is it still gonna give you tickets to VeeCon?
No, it will not.
He said that.
Yep, he did say that.
Okay. Because it's interesting to me that, let me do a quick check here.
Yeah, it's only version 1, and like what he's calling 1.5, the books, is not does not give you access either.
Here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
VeeCon right now, our understanding is it's only open to VeeFriend holders, correct?
Yep.
There's only 5,000 VeeFriend holders.
Yep.
Why would you get a whole stadium?
Maybe because of everything else that's going on. Because he said there's going to be a way if you buy multiple VFriends that you can bring multiple people with you.
Sure.
But yeah, maybe because of like, if there's talks going on here, talks going on there. I have no idea. A giant stage and everyone gets to stand on the football field. I don't know what he's
Think
thinking.
about the size of those stadiums, right?
Think
Like,
about, okay. So let me help you out here, because maybe put this in
you and I have done
perspective.
a lot of shows at a lot of places.
We've done a lot of shows at a lot of
A lot of
places.
shows at a lot of places.
So okay, think about the state. You do have all the back of the stadium. You have all those rooms and
Yes.
all that stuff you can do. But what if he has something set up like where it's a tournament going on or multiple tournaments going on where people are playing like games he talks about, old school ice hockey. If you're playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out, if he has a thing set up for the my brain's not working. He's got the Rocker. He's a minority owner of Rocker. What if he has something like that set up for the Call of Duty, where teams can go in and you need a bunch of room for that, for all those people, all the computers, all that stuff. Plus, if there's different areas where people are talking, different hangout areas, I can see it taking a stadium, even if it's only for 10,000 people.
Yeah, but I'm saying it looks right now like it's 5,000 people.
No, because you can bring other people.
That's true. That's true.
Now, I don't know if I'm going to bring a person for every one of mine, but let's say it's 8,000 people.
Yeah, because you've got to have it in your wallet, right? So
No,
like,
I think there would be a way where you could say, where like you can assign them to people's names, was what I'm guessing.
oh, you don't think that, I thought you had to come and show them your wallet. Like you would put in your wallet at the door.
Maybe. And maybe you have to have everyone with you when you're coming in. Like, okay, this is my gift goat. This is my compassionate catfish. This is, this person is
Yeah.
this person is that.
You don't think it would be like, yeah, well, I guess they'll give us those details, right?
Yeah, it could be. It could be like that. But I
Yeah.
can't imagine that they would make someone have it in their wallet. Like, oh, your friend, you have to give that to your friend for this weekend. I can't see that being a thing. But I can
wonder if they're
I can
gonna
see him
say-
taking up a whole stadium.
I wonder if they're going to say your VFriend and guest.
Mm-mm.
You don't think so?
I'd be
Like, let you
surprised.
bring your, I would not. I think he's family oriented enough to be like you and your spouse.
We'll have to see. That'll be
A
interesting.
lot of unanswered questions here, but
Even
yeah,
still.
we'll find out. We'll find out about all of this. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you.
for this episode. We're getting closer and closer
Oh,
to,
oh,
we got something.
oh, darn it.
Kilted's going crazy.
Yes, I forgot. Is this coming through? Is it backwards?
Oh, yes, you can see it.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you, Gary.
Gary gave
Did
you
we-
hugs and kisses.
He did give me hugs and kisses. I thanked him for telling me, or for telling everybody, that there were some very rares that were a steal at the 3.5 ETH, and I was able to scoop some of those up because I didn't bother to get them when they were 1.25 or 1.5 or whatever they were.
Still a steal. A steal.
But yes, a shout out to Gary. Thank you.
That means you 5x your money plus.
Yeah, exactly.
If you sold them today, 5x your money plus. Yeah, I
Yep.
know. I'm sitting on a few things that even right now are in the positive, and I'm like, do I go? Do I not go? But I think, what am I going to do with it? So I just leave them in there.
That's exactly where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm at. Like,
Yeah.
oh, do I sell this because it's finally back up? But the only thing I kind of want is I think I'd want my kennel club back, or
Yeah.
a kennel club, because of the roadmap, but who knows?
Oh yeah, who knows? Well, and like, I really think I shoulda, I shouldn't say shoulda. My plan on Friday was to get my butt home and list my bat. And I never had a chance to list my bat. And
Mhm.
would it have sold? Don't know. I think the bats are rare enough that they would have sold.
There's one right now in auction. I think it's ending today or tomorrow.
It's ending today.
Yeah, they're either today or tomorrow. You'd have to look. It's right there. It's right
I'm
there close
jumping
to
on
the
my
floor.
bat and looking. an auction is the best way to figure out, right? Like if it's
Exactly. Like what people would pay
15
for it.
hours left, the top bid is 19.
Okay.
So, but that's literally the only one for sale. I forgot about auctions, so I could auction it off
Yeah.
and put the minimum being like 19.
Hmm.
The reserve price at 19 is not met, by the way. So it's
Oh, okay.
bid right now is 19 and that has not been.
So they did put in a reserve.
Oh my gosh, the person who's bid had bid 15, 16, 18, and 19.
You're gonna reach out to them, say, I've got one for 19.
That is
Although
funny.
I don't
This
know
is
how
the
you do
person-
that.
The person who minted this, their
Mhm.
wallet is called Bold Bat.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. And let's see if they have anything but the bat in there. They do. I can't believe they're listing their bat. I wonder what its real worth is.
They have other things in there.
How do you sell these on a private market?
I don't know. I'm not willing to take that chance. I'll give Gary his 10% or whatever.
No, I'm just saying, like, if I reached out to a person and said, hey, like this guy who's not selling it for 19, like I'd sell mine for 19 if I could turn around and buy another one for 15 or 16,
Yeah.
right?
I think you'd have to get a hold of them, list it, say, okay, I'm gonna list it at this time. If you want it, here it is. And if you're getting a commitment from them, like if they end up not getting that, like, hey, I see you haven't met this reserve price.
Oh, you know what? You can list it right to them. I forgot. You can do a
Okay.
single offer person.
Okay.
So you don't have to do it privately. You can just say,
To only one person.
yeah,
And so you would 10%, so 1.9, so almost 2. And then
Yeah.
what is the floor 16 right now? But then you have, so you're making 1 ETH.
you're making,
Where's the floor
yeah, you're
50?
making 1 ETH.
Yeah. It's not bad.
I mean, 1 ETH is not a bad, it's not a bad thing.
Unless
Well,
you
we'll
get
keep you guys updated.
The
We'll
content
see,
corridor.
we'll see
yeah.
what we would do. Maybe I would send them like an offer and be like, hey, you can make a bid on this for 20. And
Yeah.
I'll take it. No playing around. So
Yep.
you can go ahead and do it, and and then I could turn around and then I would have made 2 ETH almost.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
that would be almost enough to get that bat or the firefly outright.
The firefly at 20. Maybe it's the same person who's trying to sell that.
I don't think it is. I think I checked who owns the firefly.
Family 247. I saw them on something else.
Oh yeah. So
Huh.
anyway,
But
that
all
one's
right.
a fun one too. All right, people. Well, sorry to get you listening to our plans. Normally those are special episodes, but lucky you guys. Enjoy your night. This is Ballbuster signing off.
Kill the Dragon Jair. Love you all.